What is up, tribe? Welcome to today's episode of the Konnekt 7 podcast. I am your host, Thaddeaus Sims, and if you have been connecting with me lately, share an episode with a friend so that they can tap in. Now, today's going to be kind of like I can't say a short episode, but it may be. I wanted to share just a few pre-tips with you guys on helping you connect with your ancestors because just this past week for myself, it's been my relationship with my ancestors have been getting stronger and I fucking love it. And so for those of you who hear me talk about like, oh, talking to the ancestors, some people are like, oh, that might be nice, but bitch, how do you do it? So I dabble in it a bit here and there, but I just wanted to share a few pre-tips with you guys. But before that, I will say there is no announcement, and I'll just go straight into the fun fact for you. So, and also again, for those of you, y'all, man, y'all know by now. If you're new to this and you're watching this, if I'm looking down, I got notes. So I'm just looking at my notes so I can stay on track. So, the fun fact is astronaut is a compound word derived from derived from the two ancient Greek words astro, meaning star, and not, meaning sailor. So astronaut literally means star sailor. And I thought that was pretty cool. I was like, I like that. Let's talk about that. Little star sailors here. But that's the fun fact, guys. So I'm gonna jump straight into it. So just again, like I said, three pre-steps to take before connecting with your ancestors, right? So you already got the why. You're listening to this. You want to connect with your ancestors. So, and if you're curious, here's some steps to help you whenever you decide to you want to talk to some of them. So I know I've said this many times before, and instead of many, maybe two, between many and two times, right? But the first pre-step is that you literally want to just open your mind to the possibility of speaking to them. I say this because speaking with your ancestors is not necessarily what you see like in Hollywood, like with the acting and the shows. I personally feel as though like shows that talk about, I don't know, anything that's kind of like magic, witchy, supernatural, I feel like they're really cool to kind of like get you in that world of it. But it's not necessarily like that. So let me just say that. But the first thing I would say, like I said, is you want to open your mind to the possibility of speaking to them. And how you do this is you just tell yourself um, that you're open to the messages that they can share with you. So to receive anything, you have to be open. And the possibility, so just starting small is again, I treat it kind of like you have this cell phone, right? That you're probably listening to this podcast on. Um, you have this cell phone. That is you. So you have all these other features, but you have a mailbox, you have text messages, social medias, whatever. But you have so many points where you can get different messages. So you can think of your text messages as, your friends here, this, that, and the other. And you can think of like emails as like, oh, okay, that's me connect. That's my ancestors. That's that channel that they're connecting to me to. So just opening yourself and just telling yourself like, you know what? And it's something simple. Like you don't have to, go to a graveyard and do. You can literally just take a deep breath, close your eyes and just say, I'm opening that door for my ancestors to just share messages with me. And that's just a perfect start right there. You're giving them permission, you're opening that door, you're allowing yourself to receive from your ancestors. I will give you another tip. If you're taking this seriously, is change it up a little bit to I'm opening the doors to receive from my ancestors who are in alignment with my highest good, because not every ancestor you need to be talking to, not all of them is have your best interest in mind. You can think of it as certain family members now that you don't fuck with. You ain't trying to open the door to talk to all of them. You might like a few cousins on your daddy's side, and You might like everybody on your mama's side. So, that's kind of how you want to treat them. So, just wanted to share a tip with y'all because y'all might be like, I opened this door and I just felt like they just abusing me. They beat my ass. Yeah, you gotta talk with the ones that is working with you because not all of them is for you. So that's the first one. And also let me say, it's nothing to be afraid of, guys. It's literally your family. So it's having that common sense of also knowing like there are certain people in my family I fuck with, and there are certain people in my family I don't fuck with. So just kind of keep it like that. Super simple. The second thing is decide how you want them to communicate with you at first. So this can change later down the line. What I mean by this is, do you want them to communicate to you audio, like hearing, feeling, visually, smell? That may be weird, but some of us are different out here. I want to make sure I cover all of us. Smell, taste, or just knowing. I wanted to take a moment to just insert this here because you've heard at least one of these different terms, but when you hear like stuff like from psychics or people who term spiritual gifts, so like I said, you have audio. You may have heard of clairaudience. So that means it translates to clear hearing. So that's like being able to hear spirit, or in this case, your ancestors. You have feeling, so clear sentience, which relates to clear feeling. So that means that you can feel like you want to kind of feel your ancestors. I kind of translate that to like in the beginning of when you're in a room and it's kind of like you're just doing your thing, but you can feel when someone is in the room. And not nothing on no weird shit, but like let's just say you're in the house, you're reading a book, or you're on your phone, and somebody who live in the house with you, walks into the room. It's kind of like you can feel that, and you just know, okay, that's hubby, or that's bae, whoever. So that's kind of how I translate that to like in the beginning. Then you have visually. Most people have heard of this term, clairvoyance. So that's clear seeing and things like that. Personally, that one's my favorite. If you're gonna talk to me, baby, I need to see you. I don't need to be guessing. I don't need to be trying to figure out. I need you to come to me. I need you to be dressed up, looking like who you need to look. That's just me. That's how I like it. Then you have smell, right? And smell, I believe, because some of these I kind of mix them up a little bit, but smelling, I want to say that's clear aliens or allofunctant, but I'm gonna go with clear aliens. But basically, it just means clear smelling. Now you might be like, why in the hell do I want my ancestors to speak to me through smelling? What the fuck? I will tell you, it's not my main one, but I've experienced it um, like a few times here and there, at least 3 times in my life. But it's a good thing in the sense of like, I always and I know I've said this on the podcast before, but an example of that could be someone could be talking to you about getting a car. And you know nothing about this car, but and hell, you probably like me and you ain't even a car person, but they keep talking to you about this car. And every time they tell you about this car, you just keep smelling like, oil, or just like something like a hot engine. It's just every time it's like a whiff of it, right? And it only happens when they talk about this car. And later on, they get this car, and then you come to find out that they have engine problems, or there's something constantly going on with the oil. So you can get kind of weird messages like that. Now, again, I know that sounds weird, but hey, some of us get messages the way we get messages. So I'm just saying, we all a little different out here. And depending on what your profession is or what your background is, I mean, if you have a high sense of smell, I mean, hey, you probably already kind of tapping in that way. But yeah, the next one is taste, and that one I believe is translated into clairgustance, clear tasting. That's another kind of, I'm not gonna say weird one, but it's different. Like, I've not heard too many people in the spiritual communities that I've walked in kind of mention it, but I feel like some of us have experienced it at least once or twice. That one I've experienced a little myself. I can kind of turn it on and off in certain instances. Like I used to do my brother, he hates when I do this, but like um he would eat something and he knew I couldn't eat it. Like we eat differently. And so he would like fuck with me and be like, "Oh, this tastes good, this that." And I'd be like, "You know what?" I was like, "Take a bite right quick." And then I would kind of just like kind of focus, and then I as he's chewing, I can literally it's like I'm connecting to him chewing it away, and I'm like, "Mm-mm, it's oily. I'm not liking it." And then it's not cooked, and he would look at me like the face that he would make was like, "Bitch, how the fuck are you in my mouth right now?" It's just too funny. I know that sounds crazy, but it's like just that sentence alone. But it's just like that's the closest I've experienced. But in other ways with clear tasting, it's like it's almost like you can taste something without having it physically in your mouth. And I'm really trying my best to keep my mind positive as I'm speaking on clear tasting. But basically it's along the lines of like someone could either be talking to you about something or you just get a taste in your mouth for some weird reason, and it just kind of leads into you figuring out what it is. Some of us may have it, and this is another way I can translate it, is like some of us may have it to where we just have a taste for, we'll say, and this we're going to be very specific, like not like pregnancy cravings, but like you have a very specific taste from somewhere at a very specific place. And it's just on your mind and you just go there. And going there leads you into either bumping into somebody you haven't seen in so long or someone you need to meet and different things like that. So it's like you can get messages through taste, right? So that's another one. And then the last one I will say is knowing or claircognizant. I feel like I can't say a lot of people, most of the people I have crossed paths with have this a bit. Even some people who are not necessarily in that spiritual like tip, they have that like, like something's telling me to do this. Like I don't know how I know, but it's just da 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 da. But clair cognizant is just something where it's kind of like like I said, the information can just drop to you without you even knowing, right? Like not like knowing how, sorry, without you even knowing how. You just know it, but you just can't. Like if someone's to say, "Well, how do you know?" Like I don't know, but I just know that this is what we're supposed to do, and boom, you figure it out. So I say all of those things to give you an example of like decide which way you want them to communicate, which is best for you. Again, I will translate this again on earthly terms of like, hey, baby, I'm better in person. So we're gonna have to meet up and we talk. Don't text me, don't call me because I probably ain't gonna respond to your message and I'm probably gonna ignore your call. So I'm more of an in-person type of guy. Or you may be a person that's like, hey, I want to FaceTime, I want to see your face. So it's just kind of like go with the style that works for you. If you're more of an in-person, maybe visually is what you want to do. If you more of a like, we can text here and there, that you may be okay with just getting like little messages here and there. Something just drops on you. And if you're a little bit different, like, baby, I love to eat, drop the messages in my food. You know what I mean? So it's just like you can decide how you want to have your ancestors communicate with you. And as I'm saying that, one of my ancestors are popping in and they're saying, okay. So I'm gonna add that in there. So I guess a question for some listeners, or they're answering a question that some of y'all might be having when you hear this is, how do you know it's them when you do it? I will tell you this. I cannot tell you what everybody else does or feel, but this is what I will tell you from my experience. And that's what they're telling me to say that. Okay. For me, it's literally a feeling and a knowing that is coming from your blood, your family, right? It's a it's a connection that you can't really just describe, but you just know that okay, yeah, this is my people. There and it's a mix of things that are intertwined. It's this mix of like knowing a sense of familiarity. There are so many signs that are like, yeah, nah, I know that's them. Like, it you can, and some people might be like, well, how do you know you're not being tricked? It's a knowing. It's kind of like you just know. And as you build this relationship, you just kind of know. The closest I can bring it to you on an earthly term is like, imagine you have I'm gonna say a close relative or someone you're very close with, and you just know their signs and you know how they communicate with you. So if you have someone who's with the shits like me, you know that, like, I do it to my partner all the time. I will tell her, like, if I'm cooking, I will tell her like, "Hey, my bad, I overslept. I'm gonna start cooking now." When I know she's about to get off of work in like 2 minutes, just to piss her off. And so now she knows to ignore me or don't respond or say, okay, like, cause she knows, yeah, bitch, the food better be on that table when I get home, So it's just like she knows like my tomfoolery in her words. But it's when you know a person so well, you kind of just know, yeah, okay, they're joking, yeah, they with the shits, or it's a feeling. It's just annoying. So it's similar to that, but with your ancestors and the way you communicate with them. So it's something you will know as you get as you build your relationship more with them. Um, okay, yeah, okay, sorry, because they're talking to me, like they're throwing stuff at me. Okay, um, another example for you guys. Damn, yeah, okay. Sorry. Another example is like you have a relative. So we'll say a grandmother. I don't know why they want me to focus on a grandmother right now, but you have a grandmother, and it's like you're you're just now building this relationship with his grandmother in a way, right? So it's kind of like you're younger your younger version of yourself, right? Or you're just being introduced to this grandparent that you haven't seen before, but you've always known about them. They've been far, right? In this case, you go visit them and you kind of get to know them. But as you get to know them, you start to notice certain features about them. That's like, okay, like obviously he kind of looked like, I see where dad get his looks from, or okay. And as they talk to you and as they do certain things, you pick up on their mannerisms, you pick up on how like they say certain things. And it's just like, I do that. And it's like you start to like notice these different little things that they do. And then when they make something or they do something or say something to you, it's just like, damn, I needed to hear that. And they kind of look at you like, yeah, I know. But you're kind of like, how do you know? And they look at you like, baby, you came from me. So I already know what you either thinking about or I already know what you plotting on. Where you think you got it from, right? You hear that a lot. So y'all satisfied. Okay. So like, yes. That's how you will know what that will be like with them. Before I go to the next topic, do y'all have anything y'all want me to say? Cause y'all really coming in. Okay, cool. All right, I'm gonna ignore the look. So, okay, we're gonna go on a third one. the third, the third step, and it's the final one. Um, decide decide to welcome them into your daily activities. 9 times out of 10, they enjoyed them too when they were here. Um, what I mean by that is like walking. If or you like to chill in nature, if you like to dance, if you like to sing, whatever it is. Me personally, I love walks. I feel as though like I sometimes bring my headphones, but it's like I just know like not as like, most of the time they don't want me to have my headphones because it's just like we for the talk. So like today, I went out for a walk. And when if it's a regular degular walk with headphones, it's probably not a long walk. But if I know I'm for to talk with my ancestors, easily I'm for to be walking for about 4 hours. It's just how good the conversation be and the sight. So it just kind of hits differently. Right. So y'all might be like, oh baby, I couldn't do it. But I promise you, it's like if you have somebody you're talking to and you have like different things you're getting, learning, and gaining, baby, 4 hours don't even feel like it. So I promise you, I'm talking about yeah. Now, now I'm switching from miles to kilometers over here. But I will easily walk like I want to say like between 5 to like 10 kilometers and just be talking with them. And it just be really good conversations. So that's like my way of inviting them into like that daily activity for me. I have some friends who love to sing and dance, and then when they're in that movement, they just feel so close and like connected to their ancestors. They can feel them, flowing with them, being with them in that moment. So you're just kind of deciding to just bring them into the mix, bring them into the flow. And before I continue, because it's kind of like I feel more of my ancestors kind of like about to say something. Not and y'all really doing this like I'm on a camera. But anyways, um, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm trying to like say this, but they're like it's like a bunch of them just kind of like jumping in. They're like, okay, say this or say that. Tell people this, tell people that. Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna say all of that, but basically, what some of them are saying is just open that door because it's like your ancestors want to have fun and get to know you and just like love you. They want to, you know, share some wisdom, with you and build this relationship and kind of teach you about like where you get certain things from and what side of the family, did this. And you'll come to find that some of y'all have like gifts and practices, and it could be things that you may get from the family that goes way back. And being able to connect with that ancestor who started that thing, it just kind of hits differently. And basically what I'm getting from all of them, because they're all kind of like trying to jump in here, but what I'm getting is just like opening that door to like spend that time with your family, to get to know where you come from, to get to know why you do the things that you do, to let them help you with a lot of stuff, because it's just like they love you so much. And it's kind of like it's like that grandparent that you like and love, let me say that, or that family member that you like and love, because some of us don't really get along with family like that, but somebody you get along and you love, like it's like them kind of wanting to just spend that time with you. And as you're out here singing and stuff like that, you hear one of them saying, "Ooh, baby, use that diaphragm, hold this here, put your hand here, close your eyes and hit them notes." I'm not a singer, but I'm just saying they may just be kind of telling you certain things and it just hits different. And you may be going out for a walk and you might have this vision, or you might have a dream where you're seeing some lady, in some colors, and she's sitting down and she's just singing, and it just brings you in, and you're starting to build this connection with this person, and you come to find that this is a great great grandma on somebody's side, and it's like, oh wow, like, you start to see just again familiarities. But I'm gonna stop them because I feel like they finna just go all day with this. But yes, yes. So that's what I mean by, like I said, decide to welcome them into your daily activities. Um, it is fun. It is cool, and I will also say too, um, when now y'all trying to mess up my thought flow. That ain't right. Um, Another thing, okay, since we're playing these games, another thing with your ancestors is like when you don't listen, they have a way of just like making you listen. So it's just like, oh, you want to ignore? Bet we finna fuck up your thought flow. Okay, just give me a moment here. What else do I need to say to the people? Since obviously this ain't my podcast no more. This is y'all's. Okay. Okay, I got it. Basically, what they're saying is connecting with them, with your ancestors, connects you to greater parts of yourself. You may find that you do things or experience things, but there's a part of you that is a mystery, we'll say. And you have a slight awareness of this mystery, and you've been probably been trying to figure this thing out about yourself for the longest, and it's probably things about yourself you've never told anyone, and you probably don't even understand it yourself. You may be trying to fill something that you don't even know what and how to fill it in. And no, opening that door to your ancestors will fill you up in so many ways and give you the support in so many ways. And it will answer questions about yourself that even you don't know about yourself. And you don't even know that to ask. Building that connection again with your ancestors and your family, it will put you on a path and a journey of self discovery and connection that literally will blow your mind. Um, and my ancestors get slick, so one of them was like, "See, was that so hard?" That's all we wanted to say. But yeah, y'all over here doing the most. But yes, that's the message from them, from my folks to yours. Can I get the thought back that I asked for to share with them, because that was important for me, if I could. Thank you. Perfect. Okay. The final thing that I'm gonna say, I'm not gonna say what I'm not gonna say what I, you know what? The final thing I would say is when you build this relationship with your ancestors, it gets fun because you'll start to be able to identify which line it comes from, right? So which family line it comes from. And it's so interesting um because you technically, how I look at it, for me, you technically have like four lines of family, right? That runs through you. And you might be like, "Oh, what you mean four lines? What you mean two?" No, I think like with what I've experienced, I'm gonna say that with what I have experienced with myself, there are four lines, four bloodlines that are within you that you can connect with. So if you have your mother's side, that's two there. So you have your mother, which means you have her mom and her father, right? So those two came together, but those two come from a line themselves. And again, with your father, you have his mother and his father. And what's pretty cool is like as you start to pick like up like this who is from who, you start to find you really start to figure out where you get a lot of stuff from. And you really start to see some very interesting um signs, familiarities. So I know with my mother's side of the family, um, the connection is, I'm gonna say the connection is a little bit more chill. It's chill, but they can definitely go from 0 to 1,000 really quick. But it's like it depends on the day you catch them. You know what I mean? But most of the time they're chill, and it's like it's a feeling, and I kind of know. And some of them, like when they appear, they kind of look like, a little bit kind of like somebody in your family. On my father's side of the family, their energies is very different, dramatically different. It's So like on my mom's side, they can go from 0 to 1,000 really quick. On my father's side, they're kind of like already at 50. So like their base is 50. Um, their base is 50, but like if the wind blows a different way, they can definitely go to 1,000 too. Probably quicker, and they can probably stay at 1,000. And I feel like sometimes with them on my father's ancestors, like that side, they enjoy that 1,000. Like you done brung them there. We finna stay here for a little bit, cause obviously you opened this door, so we finna stay here. I like it here. I don't know, it's funny, but you start to pick up certain things, and you start to notice like when again, if you're like me, I'm the visual, so it's just like I want to see you. I don't got time to be figuring all this stuff. Show me. I started to notice that some of them look like I was like, okay, I see some traits here. And I'm like, okay. And then as you do connect, you may find that you have like you're attracted to certain places or things, and then you come to find like there's something there. Like it's like maybe there's something there. And the closest I can describe that for myself is I don't know why I've only been to like Louisiana once, Louisiana, USA, and I love I know the New Orleans accent. I do. I just love just the energies that be there. But I just was always attracted to it for some odd reason. Never really wanted to go and live there, but I just was always like there was some type of connection there. And I think later I found out that my grandmother, I believe on my father's side, was from Louisiana before she came to Florida. And I was just like, interesting. So it's just like you start to pick up these things as you build these relationships with them. And you also start to learn, like, yeah, y'all, I see where I get certain things from. And I'm gonna say this one last thing. I know I said this, but this one last thing is like you'll find that there may be something that you do, right? And it may be something that you never told nobody, and it's not that it's a secret, you just never did. But you may find that you do something and it may be so small, but you may find that you get that from like somebody who started this in your family, like I'm gonna say maybe 7 to 10 generations back. And it's just like, bro, what? But it's fun. So that's what I wanted to say. But you guys enjoy. Um, Again, my ancestral family was funny, chiming in. But that is it for this episode, guys. Thank you for chiming in. Thank you for the entertainment. I'm sure y'all are gonna have listening to this. Thank you for pressing play. You guys are appreciated. Last thing. I know I said that at this point I feel like I'm lying to y'all, but this is the last thing. If you could please, wherever you listen to the podcast, if you could please rate the podcast, give it a 5-star rating and reviews and things. So this helps the podcast out tremendously. This will help it connect with other people who have not heard the podcast. It's something free. You don't have anything crazy that you got to do. So it's like it'll help out tremendously. So if you are in a space to where you can go on and just like I said, leave a quick review, 5-star review for your boy. It'll help me out tremendously. And it also will be able to connect with some other people and they can join the tribe. But with that, that is it, guys. I promise. Enjoy the rest of your day, night, morning, evening, all that. And I look forward to talking to you all soon. Later.